had to take a station break. So I'm about to bring him on board again and let him drop some jewels on how an independent artist can actually be independent. What could the budget look like if there were two artists that, had a small deal, a deal with a small label? Like, what could these people do? So, Kojo, we're back.
Caveat.
Say
First, I said I'm going to give you a caveat before I give you any information. This consulting business is what I do. So I'm not going to give you all the actual information on what I would do. But just to give you an idea and the audience an idea, it all is going to start with your projections on how many units you think you're going to sell for that artist. Okay? So let's assume it's an artist you have who you think you're going to sell 250,000 records. That's 250,000 records.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you take that and you multiply that by the typical unit sales price that you get at,
but you're
not at retail, at wholesale.
But
So
this is the problem. You're getting way ahead of the consulting. You're getting into numbers that a manager should know. Or
let me tell. Can I tell you something? Managers don't know these numbers.
Okay, the labels
know these numbers.
So my thing is this: if a new person was starting off, like they should have a couple 100,000 in the bank because they should be considering a bunch of things. Like you said, if they don't play music, you got to hire the producer. You need a sound engineer. You need someone to clean up after the sound engineer's work. What's that? You just need a whole bunch of things to be done. You need marketing.
You need you need marketing. You need.
I can't hear you.
I said you need marketing. You need radio promo. You need.
Is it doable with a couple $100,000 with two artists? Is it doable to be able to launch an album, two albums for one label? Or does more money need it? Because they've never had projected record sales. They don't have any record sales. Like you're saying, multiply it by the sales. You can't project it if you've never done it. And I'm speaking to these young people that actually do this shit on YouTube. They go and they market themselves. They do everything themselves, and they get a person that wants to distribute them. What type of budget does that person need?
Well, they do get a chance to project side. And I correct you in this sense, because if they're doing their records on their own, they're streaming it, they get a sense of how many records they're selling, even if it's a single, right? You get a sense of how many records you're selling as a single. If you're
not selling as a single, they're new. I said they're streaming their music on YouTube. You're not getting paid on YouTube to stream your music unless you got 1,000+ subscribers. So you don't even make any money.
That's the point I'm making. They are making they're getting some sense of money they're making, because you have streaming sales. Whether if you're streaming, let's say you're streaming 100,000 units, you're making a little bit of money, even if it's units.
I didn't talk about an artist that is streaming. I said starting out a label, because these artists don't stream their music first. They go on YouTube and they sing their music and they put it together on some easy app.
You get.
So it's not streaming music then. That is showcasing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Talent. So you got those YouTube and those
those numbers
platforms have to pay you something, and so they can use that. They do.
No, they don't have to pay you, Kojo, unless you have 1,000 subscribers or more. You do not get paid from a YouTube stream unless you got the subscribers. But
all right, let me say it this way, inside. Then you're not commercially successful.
But we're not.
Stay singing in the shower to yourself.
No, you missed the whole question. We're going to bypass this because this has nothing to do with anything I said. I asked you, what would a person do who is starting out that has two artists What should they do? How much money should they project that they have? I didn't
Well,
ask how successful the artist is because I said the artists are new. That means
right.
they have no work. This is somebody that believes in talent, just like you did before Erica Badu was Erica Badu. She didn't have any streams. Y'all
Of course we did.
invested in something. You invested in the artist. So I'm asking about a person that's investing in talent that they've signed and they're starting out from the beginning. But we're never
Yeah.
going to get the answer.
No, you will get the answer. And I'll tell you what we did with Erica, with A Plus, with Chico. We started out and said, look, this Erica girl, she was getting, like sidetracked by everybody. They were like, she's a jazz singer. And we were like, no, she's hip hop. And we think we're going to sell at least 1 million records on it.
Right.
That's what we projected.
Okay.
We guessed. Okay, so it was an educated guess based on our experience in business.
A guesstimate that turned out to be a freaking platinum diamond.
Yeah, it was beyond the guess. I mean, we ended up selling like 3 million records worldwide.
I'm sorry to be a little brutal, but
it's not brutal. It's real.
I'm just
It's real.
People to understand how this process works. And
But here's I'm sorry, Sai. Here, I think maybe I was being brutal because there was a lot of people who came who were really sounded talented, but we were like, check this out. You don't have what it takes. You're not going
what
to
is
sell right.
that you knew what it took? Like, what is it that you were looking for?
Well, it's, from my standpoint, I was coming in from the business side. It was Kidar mostly who would say, no, that's not going to sell, because he had the ear to be able to determine what was going to be a platinum seller, gold seller, a wood seller.
And did you guys even think about things that, like, I'm sorry, every time I freaking do this podcast, I have somebody calling me on my cell phone that I silence, and it pops up on my laptop. I'm so sorry. Did you guys think about what going gold meant? Because going gold, let alone platinum, now diamond, is like, that's what's expected. But I remember a time where going gold was like a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and we would absolutely think about that. Because ultimately, that was what was going to make sure we stayed in business, kept the lights on, kept all of us fed. We and our staff. And so that was very important. But we were also brutally realistic. And that's why I say there were a lot of people where we're like, nice meeting you. Good night.
So tell people, what level do you reach in sales when you become gold, platinum, and diamond?
All right, so
because wait a minute, you were on the Grammy committee.
Yes.
So you definitely have all of this downloaded in your brain.
Yeah. So NARAS, which was the National Association of Recorded.
I can't hear you.
It was called NARAS, the National Association
of Recording Artists.
Recording Arts and Sciences. That's what it was, and I was a voting member. But to answer specifically your question, a gold record meant you sold 500,000 units.
Okay, and units are what? Pieces each?
Units are if it's a gold album, it means an album of at least, I think back in the day it was at least 10 individual songs on that album, and if it was a single,
I can't hear you. You said 10 different songs on that album. They have to sell over 500,000 minimum.
Yes.
Okay.
And if it's same thing for singles, but singles were I think 4 or 5 recordings again. And
singles have 4 or 5 recordings?
Yes.
Do you mean versions?
It's usually 2 songs with different versions of
okay.
Radio version, dirty version,
clean version,
etc.
instrumental.
Exactly. Okay.
Now they got Afro beats, they got this, that version. Okay.
So, and again, that was 500,000 singles. Okay. Platinum, if it's an album, you're selling 1 million albums.
Okay.
Okay. Diamond, which is very rare, you're selling 10 million of
That's rare today.
format. Yeah. Tell me who's selling 10 million, you think?
Beyonce,
Okay.
uh,
Beyonce, Taylor Swift, maybe
Taylor
Post
Swift.
Malone.
Who?
I said Post Malone.
Post Malone. Maybe
Like
maybe
pop artists.
pop artists.
Yeah.
Drake.
Yes. So if it's hip hop that has crossed over into the pop.
Because that's how they get the amount of sales.
Yeah. And if they're being played on pop, either pop radio or pop
Crossover into pop.
I can't remember. What is it that you have in the car? It's not.
Sirius,
Huh?
digital, Sirius.
Yes, Sirius XM. Yes, that's right.
Okay. Yes.
If you're
Okay.
being
So
played on their pop stations, then you're getting the pop numbers.
okay.
You know, and that's where you want to be. That was always our goal. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you're selling out. Hell no. We want to sell out. We want to sell out to pop. Because that means real money.
You want to cross over to pop. You want to also expand your audience.
Exactly.
Staying in just one small group, it doesn't help. Like Beyonce crossed over in the country. I mean,
yeah, which is why we hire people like you to do the media buys in the world outside just our limited audience.
right, the national market. So after you left Kadar Entertainment, what did you do from there? What was your career change?
I always had a career before Kadar Entertainment and after. I as I told you, I started by practicing law, and so I put my law degree and stuff back together and started practicing law again. You know,
Law for
mostly
what type of clients?
mostly music industry clients.
I can't hear you. Mostly
I said
who?
mostly in music industry clients. Yeah, promoters, some managers, doing what I was just talking to you about, like helping a small or independent label build a budget so they can go out and either get some funding that makes sense for their mini labels or independent labels. But it was really hard because at that time there were a lot of people sort of falling out of the music game because we were going through a downfall.
You're going through what?
We were going through a downfall in the sense that the majors were not making the type of money they were doing before. And a lot of people who used to work at majors lost their jobs and started doing various things to try and hustle and make money. And, many people may but may not know this. I got caught up in that. I ended up representing a guy who was a promoter who ended up being a crook. And
What?
yes, he put together a fake Taylor Swift concert when it raised like $300,000 from a guy in California, and it was all bullshit.
Wait a minute, because your phone is your computer is going out. So let me make it clear what you're saying to the peoples.
Yeah,
Get my tea. You got some tea? You better take a sip.
I got tea.
Mm,
Nice tea.
you sure do got tea.
Mm-hmm.
So you got scammed from a promoter client that
Yes.
you had on record as an attorney. You got
No, I was the attorney. He was the promoter.
That's what I said. He was your
Oh, okay.
client of record, like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
represented him
yes, yeah.
as an entertainment
I'd helped
attorney.
him before a
You
couple
helped
of
him in a
times.
previous transaction.
Couple of the previous transactions. I'd helped. I think I'd been working with this kid for like 2.5, 3 years.
How old was he? You said kid.
Uh, Maybe 26, 27.
Okay.
He was a mixed show promoter and
A mixed show promoter.
mixed show promoter and doing concerts also
Wait a
for
minute. A mixed show promoter at a radio station?
for independent mixed show coalition. You know how they in back in the day they had these coalitions who used to service various records to make shows to get paid. Essentially, they'd be guns for hire. They go to Def Jam and say, "Hey, give me all your records. I'll get them played here, 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 and here." Or
So
we
he was
used to,
a record promoter,
yeah,
not
yeah,
a concert, but he also acted in capacity of a concert promoting.
yeah. He was trying to make that transition because he had done some hip hop concerts,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is what I knew, and which is why I said, "Okay, he's graduating. He's going to do this big pop concert." And
With Taylor Swift.
he came to me and said, "Look, I got these guys who are putting up money. I've got such and such um, Taylor Swift's managers that I've been dealing with. Kojo, can you help me?" I said, "All right, just I need all the people." And so what he did, which a lot of people do, he faked the paperwork.
He forged documents
Yes,
to say
yes,
that he had permission to book Taylor Swift,
absolutely.
and you were his lawyer. So you
Mhm.
didn't create the documents.
No.
You just reviewed them. So what was your role with him?
Well, here's it was more than review though, because to get the money, the folks who were giving him the money needed it to be escrow.
Wait, I can't hear you.
They needed the cash to be escrow.
Who needed the cash?
The funders of the uh, concert.
The funders of the concert needed cash to be escrow.
Yeah,
How does
what
that
they
have
were
to do with you?
that I was the lawyer. As a lawyer, I had an escrow account, and he forged everything. So he convinced them that he was actually dealing with Taylor Swift's people, and
Ah,
also convinced me that he was. But it got to a point where um, I needed to get Taylor's people on a phone call just to feel more comfortable because there were some things that were happening that made me very, very comfortable about what he was pulling.
your phone. Ah!
Made me very uncomfortable about what he was doing.
That's a shame, people. You can't see his face. You just see his mouth. But go ahead. Made people very uncomfortable. I don't mind if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And so you put the money into the account. Money's got wired into your account from some funder.
Yes. And at certain thresholds that were met, part of the money was released to this guy to do the show.
Okay.
Okay. And at a certain point, there was more like a significant amount of money was about to be released. And I said, we need to get uh, Taylor's people on the phone and the location, the venue. We need to get them on the phone so that we understand that the you know requirements are met, what she needs, what her band needs, etc.
Writer, everything.
Yeah, right, exactly. And him being the sort of the middleman of everybody, he was supposed to organize the call.
He was supposed to what?
Organize the call.
Okay.
Conference. He failed.
He
Did
never
not.
did.
Never did. And so having the experience I had in the business, I knew who was. And the thing he also did was that he
Wait a
said,
minute.
"Hey,
Having the experience in the business, you knew who what was.
I knew Taylor's promoter. It
Okay.
was it was what do you call it? WME, William Morris and Dev." And
Okay.
so I reached out to one of my people there, and because he kept saying, "Don't do that. I'm getting this on a steal. That's why it's so much less than what you cost." Blah 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 blah. And at this point, I was like, "This doesn't feel right." So I called my guy over at William Morris, and just a brick fell on my stomach because he said, "Kojo, what are you talking about? There's nothing like this on her calendar. Even when she does shows that just her promoter, her managers do that they don't bring to us because that's artists do that to cut out the extra
Agents.
commissions." He said, "We always get noticed and we put it on the calendar just so we know,
Right.
so we don't step on their toes." He said, "There's nothing like this on the calendar." And I said, "Okay, that's what I thought." So immediately hung up and called Homie. And,
Oh, repeat
and
that. You
huh?
immediately
Yeah,
what?
I immediately called this guy.
Yes.
And I'll say his name. His name was Derek Robinson.
Derek Robinson.
Yeah, he's a scammer. And it all fell apart. That everything was just a lie. And
Okay.
ultimately, what happened to me, though, is that because as a lawyer, you are what's known as an officer of the court. That means you have to be 100% honest. They don't even give you a break that you are scammed. It's your duty as a lawyer to know, and if you don't know, you should have known.
Your
They
due
put that
diligence.
they put that obligation on your hands. So before I
So,
start, go ahead.
so when you called them up and told them, "Hey, I know this is a scam," what was that phone call like?
He First he was screaming at me saying, "What the fuck did you call? Blah 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 blah. I told you not to call. Now the deal's done, etc." I said, "Yeah, the deal is done because you've been outed. It's bullshit.
You've been what?
Outed. I mean, outed him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And now the folks in California know too because that's where he got the money from. Because they called me saying, 'Hey, when's this call happening?' And I had to be honest with them. I said, 'The call is not happening because this is what's going on. This is what I found out.'"
Right.
Um, but they they put the blame on me because I was the lawyer who released the funds to this guy. And
But wasn't it the fault? First of all, didn't you report that you got scammed first? Because
of course, of course I did. But remember what I said in New York, as a member of the bar and a lawyer, you know or should have known before you release funds. So,
okay.
so me saying I was scammed the bar, and
Did you
ultimately,
tell them you got scammed though?
of course they did, and they saw it because they saw
Chain of
the
info.
paperwork that he was sending it from. And I missed this. He was sending his fax because back in the day they used to have those tracking numbers on the bottom of the fax. Um, he was sending it from a damn Kinko's,
So where is this guy from?
Westchester County.
Wow.
He
Is he still in business in the entertainment industry?
No, he got locked up,
He got locked
and
up for this?
for this, and he also scammed. What's his name again? He was a hip hop artist, Fabulous, and his people.
He scammed Fab?
Got his ass beat. His head cracked open.
Oh, I gotta put these notes in because I gotta make sure my head is tight.
Who?
Hold up, I gotta put this in my notes. Hold up. Scammer, scammed Kojo and Fab. Kojo and Fab.
And some other. He scammed some people from Korea too.
From Korea?
South Korea, yeah. Took their
Wait a
money.
minute, and got his head cracked?
Yeah, by Fab's people. From what I
How you know? Don't be saying that on my show.
from what I hear.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. And wait a minute, what's this guy's name again? What's the scammer's name?
Derek Robinson.
Derek Robinson.
Because ultimately, he was the reason I ended up losing my law license. Well, I'll
Hold
take
up.
this one for it.
Of Westchester?
Yep.
Is he still in prison?
I don't know.
How'd you meet this guy?
I told you he used to actually do what is it called? Mixture promotions for us.
So he used to be Kadar Entertainment's mix show producer.
One of the many. We used to use a lot of different mixture guys.
My God! So you lost your law license because of this scammer?
Behind his bullshit, yeah.
And what year was this that you lost it?
2011, 2010.
Now, what are you getting it back? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm now. Actually, I'm sorry. I was eligible to get it back 7 years later, but as you know, Cy, and the audience may not know, I got sick, kidney disease, all kinds of stuff. So I haven't, and that's also sort of an excuse. But what I also found that the consulting business was really, I was doing well doing that financially.
Okay. Well, it never hurts to have a little legal paperwork behind it. So hopefully you will apply for your license again and get that going.
I will.
Because I don't know, meeting these new artists.
And you want to hear something really, really crazy? I ended up getting prosecuted by the Westchester County DA's office because of this nonsense. Because the financier, the guy who put up the money, was mad as hell that he got banned, as I would have been too, even though I gave him back the almost $200,000 still sitting.
So, what was deposited? $300K?
340 or something like that.
Okay, so the guy already took out $140.
Yeah, but the interesting thing was that the DA's office, the prosecutor who I was dealing with me and my lawyer, at the end of the case, because initially they thought I was the damn scammer because they didn't believe that this kid had the brains to do what was going on. And I kept saying, "Nah, man, you guys don't understand. You gotta look at the paperwork." And ultimately, the DA's office said, "Mr. Bentil, we realize that you're not the bad guy. See the paperwork, but unfortunately, we can't do anything about it now. We have to prosecute because, of the bar regulations."
Wow. Yeah. Well, Kojo, shit happens.
Oh, of course.
And, it just gives you a better way of how to do things and to question every damn body and then not work with everybody, basically.
Yeah, just all money ain't good money.
All money ain't good money, yes. I thought this scammer was like, you were going to tell me he's from somewhere else in another country or something like. He is right here?
He was right in there with us. He was an enemy enemy in the bed with us.
Wow. Wow. Well, why don't you tell me something that no one knows about? Some never before told story that you can share, one and one only today.
God.
Jog your memory, go back. Tell me something juicy, scandalous, something that I'm going to be sipping tea about. It doesn't have to be about other people per se, but
Yeah.
yeah, it has to be about somebody in the hip hop era. Did you get any fist fights? Did you get any arguments? Did you
I
get a
mean,
contract ripped up in your face?
nah, not at all. I didn't get into fist fights, um, but sweetheart,
Uh-oh, give it to me.
I mean, I'll never forget. This was really, it was kind of funny, haha, but not funny. You know?
Okay.
So it was like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. I got a call, and I looked at my phone. It was an early cell phone, like the little narrow joint Samsung joints, the little silver ones. So the number comes up. It says Midtown North.
Midtown North?
Yeah, as in the Midtown North precinct.
Okay.
Dude, I had been in I can't remember which club, but right there on 57th, um, and a bunch of them had gotten a fight, and um, Big Mike was with them. Big Mike is Eric Butler's manager, and he
Big
was,
Mike is Erica
yeah,
Badu's manager. He was with
yeah,
them.
he was working with us at that time. He was also working with us, sort of as like security.
He was work. I can't hear
He
you.
was working with us as like security,
Yes.
and and he grew up with Kidar, so he knew Kidar a long time, and they were out. I'm not sure what was going on, what event it was. Probably like a showcase or something. Um, or maybe a Mary J was release party. That's for some reason that's sitting in my head. But long story short, they got in a fight, and Kidar had apparently he's wearing these really hot off the presses men's Louboutin shoes with the red leather sole.
The bread bottom.
Yeah, I'm saying specifically red leather sole because that's what happened. He he got in the scrum or melee, whatever was going on, and he slipped and fell on his ass, and, and that's how the cops were able to get him because he was one man down. Everyone else had kind of split out, and so he was calling me, saying, "Look, I need you to get me out of here." And it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I live up in Westchester,
Uh-huh.
and so I had to figure out how to get down there and you know get him out, bail him out, or whatever.
What was the
That's
fight about? We don't know.
it was. I don't remember. I don't remember. I can't even remember the event that they were at, but I believe it was a Mary J. Release party.
Concert. I can't hear nothing you're saying. This is the last question because I got to go. I can't deal with this computer shit. It's driving me nuts. I hope the audience stays with us. Please subscribe, like, and share if you like what we're talking about. Okay.
Sorry, is this live?
No, it don't matter if it's live. I'm not chopping out shit. I don't have that kind of editor. I have a
Okay.
basic editor.
Okay. No,
Okay.
I'm saying is it live because then my sound.
I can't hear you. It don't matter. Your audience ain't gonna be able to hear you going in and out, in and out. I'm just praying that they stay with us because this show is really informative and interesting. But my last thing is tell the crowd. I hope it's more than one person listening to my show. It's not about you. It's about honesty on demand. Anyway,
Yeah.
tell the people something about me that you think or that they wouldn't know. It could be anything, or it could just be a comment about me. Tell them something. Do you know anything about me?
Absolutely. Sorry. I mean, what I know is that I decided to work with you because you were persistent, you were genuine, and I felt like just from talking to you and the way you were pushing what you were doing when we first met, I said she's going to do it, and she's going to win, and I want to be part of that winning combination.
You said she's going to do it and she's going to win.
Yes, and I want to be part of that winning formula.
That winning streak. Well, you guys did really good with media buys. You guys sold a lot of records. It's not just because of me, of course. It's definitely your whole team. You guys were a small company. It always felt like a family-oriented type of company with some
Mhm.
great, exceptional people like Kirsten Tucker, which we interviewed. You guys had KK. How I Met You was through Ayana.
No, Arian.
Ariane Pope, who
Yes.
was a spoken word artist slash assistant to you. And I used to like pay her off so I could get my appointments with you. And she felt like I should have kept paying her. I got tired after a year. That should have been enough.
Damn, you paid her for years?
Well,
I
as
didn't even know that. I know you paid her something, but I didn't know it was that long.
a commission of my media buys, it was like a year, but like I should have told her no. This was just like 2 months. So anyway, I'm so glad to have you, Kojo. We're gonna have to catch up when we have like better sound, maybe in studio soon when you
Yeah.
come visit me, since we're both in Florida. But
Yes.
Kojo Bentil, how can people follow you? No, just
Um,
give me one Instagram handle. I'm gonna add it to the screen anyway, but I think it's
Bentil P444 or something like that. I can't even remember.
yes. Thank you so much for coming on HonesTea On Demand and spilling all this honesty. Honey, I got a lot of things to talk about in the summary area. My heading is going to be popping. We're going to follow Kojo from the top, his journey, his peaks, his valleys, and the fact that he's consulting today. So,
Yeah.
Kojo, thank you so much. We're going to have to do a part 4 to talk about how we're going to be saving lives.
Yes.
Through you and your endeavors and your journey. But stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much. Bye, Kojo.
See you later, son. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I need